Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. It's the last day of the month. How exciting. Exciting slash surprising that the first week of 2025 has already been and gone. It's in the back. It's in the distance. But yeah, life marches on, as does Bitcoin. And I'm going to start off with weekly time frame on CME because that's about to close. Not quite about, but in the next 7 hours will close its weekly time frame. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and let's get straight on with the price action analysis. Here is the weekly time frame for CME, all the way from 15K all the way up to the current price level of basically 105, as you can see there. And consolidate, range is the name of the game, name of the game, rather than a sort of breakout craziness. However, on the lower time frames, and you'll see this in a moment, it does look like this could be the move. Although, that's what people always know. I'm always wanting for Bitcoin to make the move. And sometimes it doesn't behave, despite what price action may suggest. So, what's the significance of this chart here? Well, you can just see it sideways. The last 2 weeks, however, have closed basically above 100K. Well, they should do, as long as CME doesn't do something stupid in the next 7 hours. And that, for me, is a support area. And therefore, the consolidation sort of sideways would, in my humble opinion, require CME to be closing probably at least daily timeframes back below 100K. And therefore, wow, how many times can you say therefore in one sentence? Or a few sentences, maybe a paragraph. And so, the longer it remains above there, the more likely, I think, for a meaningful upside move to occur. The more likely it is for that to occur. As you can see, for all of the CME trending moves of this bull run so far, the 20 SMA on the weekly has been a really good, so the midpoint of the Bollinger Band on the weekly, it's been a really nice area to reference for trend continuation. So upside trend, price remained above the 20 SMA, a little bit of a dip down, but didn't break the previous low. Upside trend, price remained above the 20 SMA on the weekly time frame. It then jigged around. It then has made a significant move, remaining above the 20 SMA, and it looks like it's going to continue to do so, and will do so as long as it's not closing weeklies below 87. Seems quite far away at the moment, and I don't think the lower time price action is suggesting that that's a target. But I may be wrong. I think that's enough for the weekly time frame, and so I'm going to switch over to Bitstamp. Why not? And switch down to the daily time frame, and you can see this nice consolidation, sideways move in price action. But along the same lines of the weekly price living above the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, as has the price since, so on the daily time frame, since the 14th of January. So coming up for 2 weeks now. The last 2 weeks has basically been living above the midpoint. And this reflects what I was talking about, that 101 region being a support. If I just draw it in as a line, I'll just draw it in as a cheeky horizontal ray. Hey, Ray. Hey, Peter. What film's that from? If you're, I would suggest if you're over the age of 40, you're probably screaming Ghostbusters at the TV right now, or whatever, laptop, phone, any of the above. But as you can see, that kind of 101 region looks to me like a support resistance area on timeframes, probably daily and below. Kind of also on the weekly, but not so obviously. And therefore, if Bitcoin can retain it, it's also the midpoint of the Bollinger Band at the moment. But if Bitcoin can retain that 102, 103, then I do think that this looks more likely to go like that. Ba-ding! Probably up to, wait for it, 120,000. 120. Yeah, maybe not. You can see from a momentum point of view that the MACD is thoroughly above the zero line and will remain green in color, so with upside posturing, as long as Bitcoin's closing daily is above 104.5, which is very close not to be at the moment, but it kind of still is. Switching down to the 4 hour, 4 hours obviously a bit more choppy. So that's the whole consolidation just looked at on the daily. And you can see there's been some volatility expansion and contraction on the 4 hours, 4 hour time frame, both to the upside and the downside. Now, the last move was definitely to the upside, and then it has effectively gone sideways in a range that was really handily demarcated, I would suggest, by Trump's inauguration. But it's above the midpoint of the Bollinger Band at the moment. There isn't really volatility expansion on the 4 hour. Okay, you could argue there's a little bit, but not huge. And so, yeah, line in the sand number one, I would suggest on the 4 hour time frame is 103,500. If it starts to close below there, it's just more consolidation, more sideways price action. But if it can remain above there and indeed start closing 4 hour daily candles back above 106, then that is a move to the upside. Momentum flipped to the upside on yesterday, midnight yesterday, and it looks like it will remain up there, although pointing down, and Bitcoin needs to get back above 105 to turn this green. So yeah, 105 being around these highs here. I think that'll do it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. And I will catch you next week. Have a great weekend. It's been a pleasure. Take it easy.